economy and its impact on different segments of society. In the second session, Tayo Akinwade, Marvelous, emerged victorious. In a debate against Onuibo Alexander, the debaters tackled the question, is it possible to have true equality in society? Well, there you have it. So I'm certain that today's episode was amazing, just like it will be tomorrow and the days following that. And if you are not on the wagon yet, if you haven't joined the train, it's important that you do, because I don't think it's too late. This is an educational program. It helps. It gives all the right things. If I were to do an advert for this, what are the words I would say? Are you concerned about social vices? Is it doing you as if your child is influenced by the wrong things? Does your child keep bad company? What else would I ask before I now? If you have any of these problems, tune in to I Beg to Differ weekdays. Anyways, you get the point. So this is right for all the right reasons, because we are in the business of promoting values. And if you look around, there are lots of things that can be promoted, lots of things currently being promoted that should not. But for all the right reasons, this is a conscious effort to ensure that we're pushing publicity to the right things. So join I Beg to Differ tomorrow. It starts at 10 and runs all the way till noon. And I'm sure you'll be super excited that you did. All right. Coming up next is our first headline for the big stories. And it is what would be considered a condemnation. The National Secretary of the Coalition of United Political Parties, Peter Ame, has condemned the All Progressives Congress, APC. Why? For hosting the caucus meeting of the party at the banquet hall of the presidential villa. In a statement, Ahmed described the hosting of the meeting at the presidential villa as an abuse of power, which should be condemned by every Nigerian. He said the use of the presidential villa for partisan activities is a clear violation of the principles of democracy and fairness. Let me read the longer report. In a statement made available to newsmen, Ahmed described the hosting as an abuse of power which should be condemned. The presidential villa, he says, the official residence and workplace of the president of Nigeria, is a symbol of national unity and the seat of power. It is a place where important national decisions are made and where the president receives visiting dignitaries. However, recent events have raised concerns about the misuse of the presidential villa for partisan purposes, specifically the hosting of the APC National Caucus meeting at the banquet hall of the presidential villa. It should be widely criticized as an abuse of power. The villa belongs to all Nigerians regardless of their party affiliation. By hosting APC functions at the villa, the ruling party is essentially using state resources for their political gain, while excluding other registered political parties from accessing the same facilities. This creates an uneven playing field and undermines the democratic process. Okay. That is a statement of Ame. It goes on to say other things, but that captures the essence of it, the main points that were made. Now, do you agree with Ame? There are two ways to look at it. And it's not a question of whether or not you agree. We can get there later. Ame is saying that you either do not host APC meetings at the villa, because that's not what it's for, or you open the villa to host all parties. So think about it. Let's imagine that in the spirit of equality, equity, and fairness, the president says, okay, we have done an APC event. Oh yeah, PDP, come to the villa. Next week, YPP. The week after that, PPP. CPP. After the break, we'll call other parties. Stay with us. Nigeria info. I was listing political parties before the break, and I would like to resume. I am on the INEC website to check the list of all the political parties we have. As you can tell, it's a lot, but we'll get there. We'll get to the very end, so stay with me. In alphabetical order, A, Accord. So the APC has started with the NEC meeting, right? In the spirit of equality and fairness, we have to allow other parties. How many parties do we have? Okay, I don't have a number right now, but I know that going by the last election, it was around 20-something, if I'm not mistaken. Because heading to the election, you have about 70. And then a few weeks to the election, you start hearing that some parties are endorsing another candidate. So they are joining forces, right? Many of them align with the big parties. So eventually we had around 19 or 20. I hope I'm correct. So Accord will have theirs next week. And the week after that, Action Alliance, AA. The week after that one, African Action Congress, AAC. That's Showere's party. The week after that, why does it have to be every week? You can't do it daily. Because after that, you have to sweep the banquet hall, clean it. A lot of party activities. Make sure there's no remnant from the previous party. Then African Democratic Congress. Action Democratic Party. All Progressive, no, they've done their own already. They're the one that started this. All Progressive Grand Alliance, APGA. Allied People's Movement. Action People's Party. BP. Okay, Boot Party. That was blood pressure. Okay. So we've gone from A to B. LP, Labour Party. NRM, National Rescue Movement. NNPP, New Nigeria People's Party. PDP. Yes, they will have to do theirs as well. I know that party. I've heard of them. PRP, People's Redemption Party. SDP, Social Democratic Party. It's one of the oldest here. YPP, YP, Youth Party. And ZLP, Zenith Labour Party. All these parties will also, the benefit of the president and his office will still need to be used in the event that he goes for a party function. For example, wherever the president is going for a campaign or a meeting, he will still need to go with the presidential jet because he's still the president. There's no protest or calling out the president that's going to change that. Yes, he's a party man, but he's our president. The president will still need to go with his security as provided by the Nigerian state. So for the things, the benefits that come with the office, the president still has that. You can't take it away. But for the banquet hall at the presidential villa or any part of it to be used for party purposes, that's wrong. Imagine if you hear that, and I honestly hate to use the United States as the perfect example, but hey, it's the most popular example, right? They have the best publicity, so that's why they're always in our faces. You hear that Trump is hosting a party convention in the White House. It's not like they can't come and visit him, but, one of the annual meetings of the Republicans, they are doing it inside the White House. The same thing the CPP is doing right now, all the opposition forces in the US will call them out. Because that house is for the office, it's for the people, it's not for the party. Another part of this conversation that is amazing is what the CUPP is doing. Because many times, these pressure groups, Sarah, COP, Yaga, and whoever is willing to say something, they bring to our attention the things that we would normally not notice. It's not like it's not wrong, but normally you just would not notice it. APC holds NEC meeting at the presidential villa. It's just a headline, and you just walk past, and then someone says, hey, it's not supposed to happen then. Then you're like, wait a minute, that's true. And this is the right way to do opposition. That if the party in power does something, and the opposition forces decide to criticize, they are pointing to things that we can all see. Not abusing anybody, not insulting an office, not saying the party is useless, but stating that this thing you have done should not be done like this because this is what you're violating and this is a better way to put it. So let this be a lesson to all those who might want to call out some leader or someone in power saying that they are not comfortable with the plans and policies, then tell us, how should it be done? The CUPP clearly stated that hosting the meeting at the presidential villa is an abuse of power. It should be condemned because that house is not for the party. It's for the Nigerian people. Very simple. It did not say Tinubu does not do this. He doesn't have that. I don't know what APC is doing. They don't have... No. This is how it should be done. So well done, CUPP. Thanks for bringing this to our attention. And yes, I do agree. Well, moving from this to an entertainer who alleged that she was harassed by the Nigeria police. Popular Nigerian artist Muma Gee has raised concerns about her personal safety as she alleged police harassment during a routine family drop-off in Port Harcourt. Speaking to our correspondent, Dr. Muma Gee recounted how officers from the counter-terrorism units of the Nigeria police violently targeted her vehicle around Rumokoro. She said the incident occurred as she was about to park her car to drop off relatives returning with her from her Odiabidi village in Ahoda East River State following her brother's funeral. She said her car sustained significant damage. Let's see if I have something from here. Okay, I don't. I'll get that later. Dr. Muma Gee expressed deep distress over the ordeal, describing it as a blatant violation of her basic human rights and a disturbing display of police indiscipline. Now, this is one side of the story, of course. Hopefully, we can get the side of the police. But just today or yesterday, I also saw Lolo in Lagos make a video about some harassment by the police. I think they were attached to a lawmaker. And it raises all the regular questions, all the things we've said a million times about police conduct and public trust, about the abuse of power, about unruly behavior, about too many people alleging that the police did this or that. And let me tell you, I know that the relationship between the citizen and the police is strained. It's not a wonderful one. But people are not really in the mood to hate the police, right? If they have a choice, it's not something that people want to do. The police does have a bad reputation. And the problem is, when the person you should be running to is the one causing the problems, where do you run? When citizens have problems, normally they run to the police to report. When they now have problems with the police, the two places they normally go to, one is the media. The second, if they have the patience and the understanding, is the court. But beyond all of this, my biggest concern is that with this culture of the police, because it's a culture, it's their way of life, this history of violence and abuse, this character of disorderly conduct, that is going to be very difficult to wash away. What will happen when we finally get state police? Will these problems be solved or will they be amplified? Are we going to keep having to deal with the abuse of power by a localized police, or will it be solved? It's difficult to answer at this point, but we will not want this new police to inherit those problems. And it is ironic that the motto of the police is that the police is your friend. Literally, that's their motto. But unfortunately, it's a lie. Until the friendship starts from the police, it will always be a lie. So, I have some level of faith in our police force, some level. Because I have to admit, I've had situations where the police actually did come to my rescue. Right? And I know that there are problems. So as I always do, I hope that we do not keep hearing stories where the police makes headlines for the wrong reasons. Coming up next, we'll be talking about Ogoni women threatening naked protests over planned oil exploration. But between now and then, I'd like to hear from you. 0817-923-0002 0817 923 0003. WhatsApp is 080 903 416. I've talked about I beg to differ, the CUPP condemning the president for abuse of power, and an entertainer alleging police harassment right here in Port Harcourt. If and when you call, please turn off your radio. It's very important. A message on WhatsApp reads, "Good afternoon, Sam Chinedu. Ahmed is 100% correct. This is absolute abuse of power and even abuse of our national resources on the NEC meeting. Every concerned Nigerian should rise up to the occasion and speak against this act of impunity. It is quite inimical for the president to host the party NEC meeting at the nation's presidential villa and an abuse of power." From Pastor Sam from Rumibu. Isaiah is my first caller from Buguma. Hello, Isaiah.
Oracle, I greet you especially.
Good afternoon.
Let me also send the greeting to your colleague, Mrs. Wall. Good afternoon. Yes, I want to say that is there any important sector in this country that the ruling of Progressive Congress has not abused? Now, when you tell me that when the president, even in that NEC meeting, came out and told Nigerians that his policies are good, and I begin to ask that is it the man dancing that will adjudicate, or the people watching the step of his dance that will now actually say that yes, you are doing it good and okay? Why is that your good not reflecting in the life of Nigerians? That is what I ask him. Now you can see, just as you explained, civilized countries will uphold their institutions and respect it with utmost respect and regard. But you can see over here, party activities now tripling into very distinguished premises, a premises that some time ago, even one of the ministers, allegedly we were told, was drunk and he was not allowed to enter. That is to tell you how distinguished that premises is. But today you can see the president and his ruling party trying to insult and denigrate that premises. I think that is the level that the All Progressive Congress came with, a different kind of change which I don't understand up to date from 2015 to today, and that has changed this country and has upturned and defaced the Nigerian system that we know and brought it to what it is today. It is very unfortunate, but I want to tell the Nigerian police that I don't want to ethnicize that very matter of Muma Gee, but I want to say that coming from the fire houses, I think she's one of our sisters, and I am not saying that the needful should not be done, but our rights should not be trampled upon. You can see the National Assembly and its leadership currently is trampling on the right of a female distinguished senator.
Isaiah, don't do that. Don't make it about gender. Don't make it about gender, please. Thank you very much. The rights of a Nigerian have been abused. We're waiting for a police statement, but please, this is not a gender thing. Clinton from Bori. Hello.
Sam Oracle.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, my brother.
How you doing?
Very well, thank you.
Let's go ahead.
Opposition will always be opposition. We'll critique everything we are supposed to critique. So even that, let's assume that I was in their place, I will also say something about that. So I don't want to prolong the matter. They have the right to criticize what they feel is not right. Moving forward, police harassment, it has become a reoccurring decimal. Our police have been very, very unprofessional. I don't know whether it stems from their recruitment or poor remuneration. So I think that something needs to be done, an overhauling of the system so that we can have new breed of professional police officers that will discharge their duties without complaint. As an Ogoni man, I really want to talk about our women that want to protest. People should understand why these women are making this fight. The reason why they are doing this is that there are long-standing issues that have not been resolved relating before oil exploration can begin on Ogoni land. And they are only saying that if the federal government wants to go the old ways of taking the back door, taking the oil, that they will protest. That the old issues, all the long-standing issues before now should be resolved before oil exploration will commence. And the president, in his wisdom, was able to set up a dialogue committee headed by Professor Ben Nanen, and they are going from villages to villages, getting the opinions of the people. What do you need? What can we do? Again, we know that we have what called the Ogoni Bill of Rights, and there are demands in that Ogoni Bill of Rights, which will be presented to the federal government. And I also believe that Mr. President will be a listening president and attend to these demands so that they can come and take our oil and improve on the economy of the nation.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Clinton. Bright calls from Rumodumai. Hello, Bright.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
President Tinubu hosting APC next at the villa is a good development.
How so?
The reason is that the president have all the right to host anybody in the villa. He is the president. He needs a secured place. Will the president go to somebody's house or hotel? When is the right time for somebody to eat? Is it after baking or during baking? So he is the president. Villa belongs to him for now. Until opposition find a way out to take over that villa, they cannot do whatever they want to do.
Well, Bright, hold on. The villa does not belong to the president. It's important I clear that as you said it. Think of it as an official car.
For now, he occupies the villa.
Yes.
Since he's occupying the villa, he can host any meeting he wants to, provided it's not a criminal meeting.
He cannot host any meeting he wants to. He cannot host his village meeting at the villa. While I know you have the right to express yourself. No. Yes, he can welcome. He cannot host his village meeting at the villa.
That's what I'm saying now. If he can welcome his village meeting and village people, not that he have at least hosted them.
He did not welcome the APC people. He held a neck meeting.
He just his party.
Bright, I need both of us. I don't need you to agree with me. I need you to understand how things work. Right?
Okay.
The president cannot host his village meeting at the villa. He can receive his village people because the villa is not there for that. So he should also not host a political meeting at the villa.
He cannot host a political meeting at the villa. Then can he use a presidential jet to campaign?
Yes, he can fly in the presidential jet because he's still the president.
If he can fly presidential jet, what is wrong in hosting a net meeting which is his party that brought him to power?
But his party would need to refund. His party will need to refund the Nigerian state the expenses because he was flying for party.
The party can do that. The party can do that. So for the police issue, it's our system. All the system, almost all the institutions are faulty. If police wrong you, if you go to court, lawyers will charge you. You have money to pay lawyer. Can you wait the long time? The judges will decide the case. That is why people are frustrated when it comes to police issues. So is our system is faulty? That is just the issue.
Okay.
Thank you, Worship Bright.
Thank you very much, Bright. Daniel calls from Imogate. Hello, Dan. All right, call back if you can. Muriel from Okrika. Hello, Muriel.
Hi, Sam. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, Sam, thank you for always bringing up the I best to differ debate. These kids, I wonder, I praise their parents, honestly. It's easy to get a point, but the art of analyzing and memorizing these things is not easy.
Yeah.
So both for those that are still in the contest and those that are out, I'm proud of them. If we have teenagers engaging in these things, the possibility, when they come out and talk about the ills of the society, how things are meant to be done right, the possibility of them going to produce fake drinks and fake drugs is very, very faint. So I say a big kudos to Nigeria Info.
Thank
and
you
for the
very
women
much.
that wants to go on a naked protest, Sam, I hear from a very reliable source that there are some men that are getting ready, to support them and then like a backup, as they are going on naked on their protest, and men will just be behind them waiting for those that need emotional support and those that are tired. The men say they just want to be there for them. And I say a big kudos to those men. Now, for the presidential quarters that was used, I said it's not right, honestly. I wanted to say there's no big deal if the president would have attended, if the president was supposed to attend, to make it easy for him. After all, it's his party. But looking at it the other way around, I said, okay, maybe it would be like an intimidation, a big intimidation to other parties. But please, let parties do things right. Thank you, Sam.
Thank you very much. Jude calls from Muma. Hello, Jude.
Sam.
Good evening or good afternoon.
The president is a tenant of Nigerians. The villa belongs to us, the citizens of Nigeria. He has no absolute right over the villa. Let's understand that. Now, Ogoni women to protest against resumption of oil production. Sam, I am personally worried with the problem of oil and pollution in Ogoni land. One may ask why. Ogoni has 4 local governments that benefit from the allocation that comes to River State, including, they call it how many percent derivation that comes from oil. The 4 local governments of Ogoni benefit from it. But for the past 30 years, no drop of oil has come out of Ogoni. Who are they? Who is fooling who now? 4 local governments, they benefit. But no oil companies doing business in that land. They get their allocation coming to River State. Now, let's face it. I have quite a lot of experience there. The pollution there. Why we blame the multinational oil companies? 60% has to be blamed on the Ogoni people.
Why?
Yes, I've been there. I've seen the level of pollution. The pollution was not there 30 years ago. The much it is now. It was not like that 30 years ago.
So why are you blaming the people?
Until they started to vandalize and destroy pipeline and wellhead just to scoop oil. And now the women, they're saying oil company come back. I am here to see multinational oil company going to Ogoni land to produce oil. We just explore oil. That's what exploration is. It's another thing we don't understand. No multinational oil company. We go to that land, and the ones we are looking at are all indigenous oil companies that don't have all it takes to even do the cleanup and go ahead to produce oil. For them to produce oil, now even if they say come in now, it's going to take a minimum of 5 years for a drop of oil to come from Ogoni. With those old warehouses, they are going to do workover, or let me say service all those wells for oil to come out of those warehouses. So let them come together, think together, see a way they can benefit maximally from the oil on their land, and not saying they come in, but you are benefiting from the one that comes from Echie, and everywhere in Echie and Mandone and other places. Who is fooling who? They should allow oil companies come in so that we can all benefit together.
Okay, Jude, thank you very much. There are lots of areas where I disagree, because the exploitation, the degradation, and everything that has come with exploring oil from that region the effects of are still being felt today, and unfortunately will be felt by future generations. There is a case in a UK court. Of course, been pursuing this for about a decade, but they were just able to get it through in the UK. And it's about the pollution and the effect. And the defense of Shell in that particular case is that the spills were caused by vandalism of pipes, just like you have said. Now it's in court. Hopefully, they're able to prove and provide evidence and do all of that. But the point is, what the women are asking for, regardless of whether oil has not been explored one drop in the last 20 years, or if it will take under 5 years to, they are well within their rights to make those demands. If the key issues have not been addressed, then there should be no exploration. I honestly don't see anything wrong with that. But as always, thank you for your contribution. Chima from Rumukuta. Hello, Chima.
Hello, good afternoon, Mr.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Yeah, let me just quickly go into the topic at hand. I'm not trying to be sarcastic about it, but this issue of the president holding APC whatever meeting in Villa, I was thinking that it is the right of the executive, because couples and series of times I have passed through the government house and I have seen that the governor Tinubu is holding political meeting in government house. Even at the time, there was a time I was to government that they want to submit a letter. Even this new AA party that wants all the local government in Obiako, River State, they all had meeting there. In government house, seriously, I was thinking that it's their right. I don't know if it wasn't constitutional. I don't know that Tinubu, the governor of River State, was at the time throwing the constitutional right of the people. Now, the issue now is that what about when they do election? That election, the proposed election to talk about local government. Do you know that the whole materials of them, that they were thinking that federal government want to come and take it as thing. They took it to government house. So those election was literally done at government house. They want to say government house. Under the watch of our governor, Timla Efubara. So I did not know. Now you have known this one now, with Oracle. I'm going to put an eye to it. Then let me quickly go to the Ogoni exploration of oil. Mr. Oracle, do you know I presentiment this thing that wants to happen now? I have been one of the persons that have been encouraging the Ogoni. Because I know from the beginning that some other person will come and instigate them to foment trouble about it. Because I will not talking about the governor, but I understood from his body language that he isn't fatigued, because when he saw that the minister of FCT was somehow involved in that meeting, I saw everything that happened, because all the advice, all the things that the president said that he should come and do with Ogoni, he hasn't done any one. We have not had any time that the government is holding meeting with the people because of one thing or the other, but it was him that the president told explicitly that go back and liaise with them and come back again. He hasn't done anything since then. All we hear is the good that holding one or the other. But now that we're standing, I want to say about the Ogoni people that they have been benefiting from equality or no, they should please let them not to be sentimental about it and allow things to go well. My name is Chima Dike for Mokuta. Thank you very much.
Okay, Chima. I've said it many times, and I will again, as many times as is required. While this platform exists for the expression of opinions, analysis, and all things in between, it is important that you share what can be substantiated. Secondly, regardless of what you claim to have seen when you went to wherever, two wrongs do not make a right. Whether the current governor is hosting parties at the government house, or the president is hosting party engagements at the presidential villa. If all 36 state governors do it, it does not make it right. So, regardless of who is doing it, because the problem with one wrong is that it becomes a reference point to the next one. If you scold a child for what they did, that child, in their defense, would very likely point to another person. But this other person did it. So, let us understand that there are party secretariats. There are event halls, I guess, where you can go and host whatever you want to host. But the seat of power should not be used for party engagements. Because if you do, that means other parties would be very much free to come and do that. And that cannot be the case. Thank you for understanding. Now, we already have started commenting on the final headline, but let me take it quickly. Coalition of Women Organization in Ogoni land have vowed to protest naked if the federal government goes ahead with the exploration of oil in Ogoni land. The women said this during a press conference in Port Harcourt yesterday. Leaders of the organization said the federal government must first address what they term key issues in the area before restarting exploration.
They are still on negotiation, which the president needed, and nothing has been done. Resumption cannot start because nothing that will permit the resumption has ever been touched. Again, if you look at the assessments of what is on the ground concerning the cleaning up, as my sisters were saying, about women, you will find the women at the grassroots were not mostly involved. And the women they involved in this thing is friend to friend.
Position for environmental people that are Abuja talking about our resumption for what? We the women are saying no. Meet our demands and come.
Then women will protest. Women will protest to the streets, carry our placards.
We will go naked.
We will go naked. We go in our nude. We are that paid.
The spokespersons of the Coalition of Women Organizations, Lesna Patrick and Barry Elelo, Patricia, explained reasons why they're against the resumption of oil exploration. Well, there's a sound which I would not play. But I'm sure we get the mood of these women and why they want to go on this protest. And there already is a dialogue. I've interviewed some Ogoni stakeholders speaking about the meeting with the president and everything that needs to happen. I want to say, federal government, please, we do not want this particular protest. I'm honestly not trying to be funny, right? This is not a protest that anybody needs. So hopefully the concerns can be addressed and some resolution can be reached. And if exploration will resume, well, it will be with terms and conditions that the majority agree with. Thank you very much. 4 o'clock is upon us. It's time for the business news. After that, we talk about the...
You no longer have to miss any moment of the action. Listen to us.